guys, we're so glad to have you join us on this platform. So, my husband and I have been having just these conversations, and we've been listening to a number of people, and we kind of noticed a pattern that we are trying to understand what is the reason for this pattern, based on our experiences, based on what we've heard others talk about, based on the counseling that we've received. We're like, is there something people are not doing? Is there something these people that are coming to us are doing that's different from what we've been doing or what we did right after the wedding? So we wanted to bring you guys in. So, babe, today I wanted us to just talk together and with the group that's joining us about like what is life after the wedding look like for there to be alignment, because a lot of young couples are saying that the transitioning from dating into marriage, especially the first 6 months, the first 12 months, is very difficult because it's like, this is not the person I was dating. This is not what I was expecting. Why can't we agree on one thing? Like, what do you think about that? What is causing that difference in transitioning from dating into marriage?
Well, I think there can be a number of factors. Of course, in our previous videos, we've spoken about how dating phase is different from the engagement phase, and this probably would be us talking about the engagement phase being different from the dating phase. And one of the factors maybe I could point to is that firstly, we are coming from two different backgrounds. And those two different backgrounds could be anything, culturally, ethnically, and also in terms of education, upbringing, and also those are many factors that when you come together, somehow you're not looking at life in a same perspective.
Right.
Okay, and maybe when you are dating, you probably had these conversations, like we said in other videos, have these conversations and expectations that you probably expect. But when you actually come into the house together, married as one,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be different, and it's gonna be different if you're not yet married. But it is you guys going through life and managing those differences together that's gonna be that's gonna make a difference to how your successful first year or second year of marriage is gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good intro because I'm probably thinking about a young couple that just got married maybe 2 months back, 1 month ago, 3 months, and they're like, nah, it's not working. Like, we there's no way we can not agree. And I like that you've brought up like there is different backgrounds, different upbringing, and so how do we find alignment? How did you, coming from a background that was different and me coming from a background, how did we live together? Because there's probably some things about me that were different from what you've been brought up with, and there's things about you that was different from. So how did we manage to work together? And yeah, like the honeymoon phase, like it was just maybe for a few days for some people, a month for some people, and they're like, that phase is gone. So what do you think about all of that?
Well, I mean, we are 3 years into our marriage, so I might not really say that we've managed to navigate everything that
Right.
life after the wedding brings. But depending on, like you said, the definition, maybe I would say maybe our first year probably had to be, I think it has to take a lot of understanding from one partner. If your partner is understanding, that will be easy for you, because if they are not understanding, they are going to begin to see certain differences in the behavioral pattern that you showed when you are just dating and now when you are married. But as I say, if you're going to be understanding, then you can easily navigate that by maybe asking, why did you do this? I don't understand. Somehow you never used to do this or whatnot, and maybe you probably be careful how you handle or phrase those questions, right? But yeah, being understanding and also just talking to one another, because if you enter marriage expecting that everything is going to be the same, then you're cheating yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So it's better you have the expectations that things might be a little bit different, but how we are going to handle that is going to be something that matters. So in our case, obviously, we were a little bit understanding towards one another, and if something comes up, probably you'll be like, guys, this is what they talk about. As in, this is what marriage is, you know. And somehow you begin to be able to live with those expectations. I'll try to talk about those things, and you navigate it together.
Right. And I think that it's good that you've talked about understanding, because when you begin to understand your partner or the character of your partner or the upbringing of your partner, it becomes easy to be able to find alignment. Because if I realize that the reason he's acting the way that he's acting in marriage is probably because of the way that he has seen his father navigate marriage with maybe his mom. And so if I understand that background, I'll be able to easily understand him and say, okay, then in my trying to relate to him, I say, okay, I see that your dad does this, and I appreciate that you've learned from your dad. However, is it possible? So even the way that you bring suggestions of how you would want to navigate is very important. If you come out as commanding, and if you come out like, I can't stand this, I don't think your partner will be able to change. But if the approach comes in a very graceful way, in a way that you're telling your partner that I want to live with you, I want to do life with you, and so yes, there is this thing that is affecting us, and I would want us to find a ground. Let's find a middle ground that works for you and also works for me, because I'm also coming from a background where I don't have this. And so that alignment happens when you reason together. It's about reasoning together. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's more of that. There was one quote. I think if you're watching this, prepare to write this or remember this. Not a quote, it's actually my quote. You can quote it from me. But anyway, I just tell myself that I wrote it down, that maybe this is what marriage is about. I would say marriage is an avenue where two people from two different backgrounds come together and join as one, and they, in this particular marriage, are going to be able to experience or encounter problems that were way bigger than they were having when they were individual persons, you know. Such, when I was alone and not married, I could encounter certain problems, and when she was alone, she would encounter certain problems or situations, and so she would sort them out. But when we are together, it's my problems and her problems brought together. So I would face those two things. But the good thing about marriage is that I'm not going to face those problems alone. We're going to face them together. So that's what we need to see, or that's the side that we need to have when we're actually looking at situations in marriage. When she portrays a certain behavior, it's not a problem for me to sort alone. It's a situation where we have to come together and talk about it and see how we can sort this out to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think this is very important for a lot of people to understand, because it's not a good thing to think that your partner has become an animal or has just become uncaring all of a sudden. I don't think it's a red flag. I think that it might be in certain cases, but I think in most cases, your partner doesn't just begin to emit red flags all of a sudden after you've dated for a long time, you've been friends, you've known each other, and then all of a sudden you can't stand them. It's just because how willing are you to make some changes about what you believe, and how willing is he to make some changes about what he believes.
Certainly.
As long as there is no willingness to have some compromise, and when I talk about compromise, it should be compromise, and remember we're talking about godly and healthy marriages and relationships. So the compromise should lead us to a healthy place. The compromise should be a healthy compromise. We're not saying that start being a drug addict because your partner is a drug addict. No. We're not saying that. Moral compromise to be able to meet at the same place and have some alignment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that you take it to the Lord in prayer when you especially encounter those situations which you didn't expect. Pray about it before you face your partner or approach your partner about that, and always pray for your marriage to succeed. It's very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, and We would love to hear from you what you think about life after the wedding.
Yeah.
Of course, there are a number of things and different experiences that people have encountered, and would like to hear from you. So in the comment section, you can comment, or you can send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.